Hello YouTube. As always, thanks for joining me on the channel and welcome to part 2 of this 1952 International HEMI powered smoke show. Let's take a closer look at how we got here. So what is it exactly? Well, it's a 2005 two-wheel drive HEMI powered Durango on a 1952 International Harvester pickup. Now, these two don't fit, so you gotta make a couple of modifications, like take a section out of both sides. Seems easy, right? Let's watch. We got power. It's a good sign. I like it. Stalled right away, which means something is unplugged. Probably a ground or a main plug's not plugged in somewhere, but I'll have to find that. Pedal. I know that if this pedal isn't plugged in, you will have a beef. The computer doesn't like it. So let's see. That's a good sign. Low fuel, it's got a light out, and the bag light, seatbelt. I can make the seatbelt go away, fuel, put more gas in it. The bulb is just a bulb problem. The backlight was on this truck anyways. But I have to take this dash apart and build a flat cover for it. So when I do that, I will open the cluster and take that out. All right, let's drive it. Drive this under there, but I'm not going to because I don't want to hit the steering wheel and I'm kind of working by myself right now, so yeah, I'm going to push it. On this one, I want to leave as much of the top portion of this piece that's underneath of it. I want to leave as much of that as I can, but ultimately it's going to have to come way down because this ends up sitting about here. But I also don't want to lose this. This is a vent that pops open, and if you cut into it, it dumps water in the cab, and I don't want to do that. So I've been here before. We're going to trim away a little bit at a time until it sits just right. So yeah, a lot to do, but it's like time. I'm out. This is a great look. If I can get this down another inch or so, which I know I can, then I need to mock up the front clip and see where they rest. I need to verify all that before I pin this down. Man, when I think back to the first time I ever picked one of these cabs up, I barely had a chain around one small floor joist in the attic of the first garage that we did this with. Another one, I built a 2x4 brace that went on the top of the engine hoist, and I stuck that in there and lifted up the cab from the inside. That took forever. That's what made me go to the top. But yeah, this is on like a header system. These legs come out when I'm done with them, so this will pick up a full cab. I've done a whole car body on this same thing, so. But when I think of the first time I did it, how it happened, I'm not even sure. I feel like sometimes it's divine intervention, you know. My main goal for today is trim this portion of the cab out and this bottom piece of floor pan so that I can get this forward to dead center my wheel arch. And then that also positions where the steering column ends up. That's very, very important. After that position is set and this matters, I can then surgically, there's like a flat piece here, I surgically mark and cut this piece, retaining this body mount, so that this cab is mounted to this floor pan, which is rubber mounted. It makes a world of difference when you're driving these things. I welded a couple of these right to the frame without this pan and mounts, and it doesn't feel as compliant, and it isn't. So that's why I do what I'm doing. It takes a little longer, and honestly, every one of these is different. They say they're all the same from this year to this year. They're not. They're not. Some of them, depending on where they're made, this seam might be an inch higher. So you can't exactly use the templates that I have. So you basically just put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. Cutting a little bit each time until it's exactly where you want it. The more time I spend here, the less time I will have to spend welding all of this together. So far I like it. Looks good. I mean, I literally have a small seam right here. That's good. I gotta double check the heights. I gotta test fit the fender, check fore and aft. There's like a million little things, but we are probably close to getting rid of this. Once this is in position, I can tack it into place, and then I can move that. Overall though, I'm liking it. It's got that, I can feel it, you know? I've done it before where I've taken all this out and dropped this 6 inches below here. But when you do that, you end up cutting your fenders gone to almost nothing. And then also your headroom is gone. When you get in a truck, you spend all this time on this freaking thing, you get in and your head is crooked because you slammed it. And that's a byproduct of all hot rod stuff. So I've got this to where it's like a happy medium. Comfortable to drive in and still looks rad. Let's take a look at the rough seams. You'll see what I'm talking about. after several days of cutting, grinding, a little bit of bleeding, I was able to get this bed cut into 6 pieces. Now we've done a bunch of these, and I know that getting the bed height back to close to factory is very important. You want the line of the truck to look just right. And it takes a lot of, as they say, fettling, messing around. Every truck is different. The 2-wheel drives, the wheel choice, the wheel height, width, it all matters. So the key component is getting these fenders close to even, getting this body line back to where it was on the truck, which is just below this and just above the handle. So right now I'm kind of shimming it, taking a step back and getting a good look. But for me, the way these trucks were built, the tops of the fenders are always flat, or at least with the general pitch of the truck. Obviously, if you load the back of the truck, it'll come down like this and the fenders wouldn't be level. Right now it's unloaded and there's still probably 280 pounds I gotta put on this thing. So when it's loaded, or when there's anything in the back, or when it's pulling the trailer, it'll sit flat. Because I've done this the other way, where I put the whole truck down, and then the minute you go to use it, everything drags, rubs, it's for looks. I want you to be able to use this truck. Yeah, this is going to about do the ride height. Within 3/4 of an inch, give or take anywhere, this is about it. This lands above the door handle, but below the body line. That's how the truck's factory came. I still have a general smooth pitch, which an empty pickup truck should have. I still have to adjust this grind and get that perfect. But yeah, I'm centered. It's at the right height. Yeah, it looks good. I'll get back at this thing in the morning. gets anchored from here to the top of the cowl. Once I anchor it, it'll be secure. I want to mock up a seat in case I need to steal an inch this way or this way. Usually with these doors it's like this, but for right now, let it hang. This seat's real close to where it's gonna live, and I can tell you right now, it's very comfortable. You'd think I'd have done this before. So really, tilt. I like that, because then you can drive, you know, that's good. This I don't like, so what I've done is rig this up. I want that about there. I want that height. It's good, feels good. There's a little riser in the carpet, so that's all good. Yeah, it's very nice. Cruise, you'll be able to see whatever I put in here. The console will be in here. So now I just measure a piece from here to there and weld it together, and then this will stay. And I can begin to patch the firewall and the flooring. Really, I could string it up and drive it, but we're not doing that today. Tie this firewall together, that'll be rock solid. Right now I've got the ride height set, I've got the body in its permanent position, I've got the pedals connected, I've got the steering reconnected. Obviously there's a lot of welding, a lot of tedious, many hours ahead. Real quick, some of the other things that are going to get done to this truck, I may or may not film them. This dash cluster has to be modified to fit inside of this curved dash. So I cut a chunk out of it and I build a bezel around it. But also the other thing that I do is, see how this is curved? That's how it was in the Durango dash. That doesn't work in here. So when you put it in park, it hits. So what I do is I take this apart and I cut this and I take a piece of Lexan and I build a new cover, and then I make the binnacle or the bezel fit over top of it and hold it all together. So when you're done, you still get this dash, you just don't have that shape anymore. That takes a bunch of time, but I mean that's the way to do it. It just would look silly if you did it any other way. And then this engine has like 140, 150,000, something like that. I put a new fuel pump in it. It's getting new pulleys, higher amp alternator. It's got broken exhaust manifold bolts over here, so we got to do those gaskets. Well, we're also going to do plugs, wires. It's got 16 plugs. And when this is in the Durango, those are real hard to get to. But I'm going to have this front clip off. I'll be sitting on it, you know, changing the parts. Valve cover gaskets, your basic service items. Someone already did the water pump. We're going to put new hoses, the stock radiator. Once I do these service parts and patch the firewall, then I'll restring it and get everything running again. But those all need to be done, and so do all of the edges. I have to build pieces all the way around. It's like putting together a puzzle, only you have to make each puzzle piece. Same in here. Then I also have to do the filler neck for the gas tank, which I might put here. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it here. I might put it here. It depends on what I have on hand. if I have the right stuff to get it back there, I'll do that. If not, I'll put it right here. But the factory tank remains, you know, these chassis are untouched. So there's a ton of stuff to do. But the next time you see it, it's going to look a lot different. The entire bed floor has to be welded in. It's all in one big piece. I'm going to set it down and basically stitch a seam all the way around it. Bit of a roll pan plate going on there. So I'm a fairly big guy. This is very comfortable. I think you can slide forward and even, can you do it? There you go. What is that? Oh, that's lumbar. Ah. Okay, what's this? I want to slide this forward and that back. Yeah, you get a little bit of adjustment. You're not getting it all. But I mean, for a hot rod, a lot of times you lose it up here. You know, you bring your knees to your face, the steering wheel's wrong. This is very comfortable. I could drive this. I could drive this all day. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got a lot of work to do. So the next time you see this thing, it's going to be spinning both wheels because it's got posi, and smoke will be billowing everywhere. But this is another proof positive that you can get an 04 through 09 Durango underneath these international trucks. I've done it so many times. You can go up or down. It's just a blank slate. So that's where I'm going to have to leave it for right now. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share everywhere you see fit. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.